Bigger Friday crew. Go ahead, guys. All right, let me get the injuries. Questionable is Breida, Sherman, and Richburg, and doubtful is Pierre.
Earlier in the week, you were weighing the logic of sitting Breida for an extended time just to make sure that he heals up. Where are you guys on that right now?
We're still feeling the same. You know, we're looking into him and how he feels, and he's questionable right now. Had a good practice today, so that's all going into account.
Sherman and Breida returning to practice, is that generally a good sign that they'll be available for Sunday?
It's generally a better sign. You know, Sherman didn't practice last week. Breida did, but it's generally a good sign.
Are you, or is Jimmy Garoppolo reaching a stage where he's able to be on the sideline for games and things like that?
No, not yet. You know, or out on the practice field, just being on the crutches and stuff. If something bad happened, he couldn't protect himself, so we got to keep him off of football areas. But he's walking around in the building, well, going around on his crutches in the building, so he's at the meetings and things like that, but nothing on the field.
Does that happen at all this season?
I believe so. Yeah, I think about 3 more weeks. I think he needs to be on those crutches. So.
Is he able to put on a headset if he were on the sideline?
I haven't thought that. I'm sure we'll get to that in 3 weeks.
By being around and going to meetings, can he contribute? Can he help TJ with anything?
I'm sure he can. I mean, it's anytime a quarterback, you know, there's only one quarterback on the field, so wherever you are, I mean, those guys rely on a lot of people, and they usually rely on their coaches when they come to the sideline, but always, the number 2 quarterback they talk to a lot, and when Jimmy can get back there on the field, I'm sure, I mean, I know he is during the week, but on game day when he can get back on the field, I know someone else will have dialogue with.
Has a long-term prognosis been made clear yet? Do you have any idea when exactly what the steps could be in his comeback during the coming off season?
On Jimmy?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. You know, it's that is a big deal and something I will definitely worry about, but I don't have those dates down right now. I'm thinking about Arizona right now. But I know you guys are meeting with Jimmy. I'm sure I'll have him down here and help you guys out. He had a good day today. You know, he didn't practice the other 2 days, and he had a good day today.
Kyle, you're the captain's vote, and Kittle is still a very young guy. Is one of them. What does that say? About him.
It says that, the guys respect him. You know, I think it starts with what he's done on the field. But he's out there every week. Run game and pass game, he's playing at a high level. You know, probably his best game this year was versus the Packers. I think he only had 3 catches that game, but had one of the best games blocking that I see the tight end have. And the players see all those things. So what he does throughout the week, how he takes care of his body, how reckless he plays in a good way, to how banged up he is on Monday, and what he does to get his body healthy for practice on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to get ready for the game. He's just he's all about ball 24/7. So I think guys respect that a lot.
Are they going to be wearing the C on their uniform?
I'm not sure if they will this week, but the guys that were voted on it, those 4 guys will. I don't stitch them in, but I would think they're stitched in this week. 5 guys, yeah, sorry. I would think they're stitched in this week. If not, we got to get moving on that.
You do not personally do that?
I don't.
No.
I don't know how to. I would if I'd been trained, but I haven't. I'm sure it's on YouTube. Iron, smarter.
Where was Jimmy in week 3, just as far as, the process of learning your full offense? Was it where you thought, where a quarterback who's learning it for the first time, should have been?
Yeah, I mean, it's not about, it's about playing. I mean, Jimmy has learned it. It's about going versus different coverages, going against plays versus different fronts, different looks. I mean, you practice everything in practice, and you try to card the looks you're going to get, but that's about the experience of going through a season. And he got to go through half of one last year, and he got to go through 3 games this year, and went against 3 different defenses. And he did some good things in those 3 games, and he did some bad things, but it was definitely helping what he went through.
Our memory does this, but it seemed like last year's games, everything was good with him, and this year it was more up and down. I mean, is that accurate? And if it is, does that have to do with starting with the full system and kind of learning through that?
No, I think it has to do with each situation individually. I mean, there's 22 guys out on the field, not just the quarterback. So when Jimmy came in last year, the first game we won. I think it was 15-12. Had 5 field goals, and some things went good. You know, it was our second win, so we were excited about it. But not everything was perfect. The next week versus Houston, we started out a little slow, and then we got hot and got a big lead really fast, and we were able to pull away. And then I think we got a lot better the next week. I want to say versus Tennessee, and then Jacksonville, and finished with the Rams. But it was. That, you know, our team was really clicking at that time. You know, it wasn't just Jimmy. Jimmy played well, and he got better each game, especially towards the, you know, I'd say that Houston game and the Tennessee game was probably his 2 best games. But everyone around him got better too. You know, just this year, because he started out 1 and 2, it doesn't mean he was worse than he was last year. I don't think we as a whole played as well as we were at the end of last year, and we showed times at it, but we were still getting there. We weren't there yet, and lost Jimmy a little too soon to find out. But now we're going through that with the rest of our team.
Were you starting to feel a real flow in the second half of that Kansas City game, or was that just the product of them being ahead by a lot? Did you feel the offense was doing well there?
Yeah, I felt a flow. I mean, I think we had 3 drives on it, and in the second half, and you know, there was 3 touchdowns, except for the one that they took away with that penalty. Yeah, so guys were clicking. You know, they were moving it pretty good. Had some opportunities there in the first half, just came up short and stay out on the field. And I wanted to say it was. And that's just what happens. You know, we missed a couple plays. You don't convert a 3rd down and you get off. You know, and there in the second half we were, and it started to click, and you get in a rhythm and gain some confidence and get going. But then you got hurt on his last play there at the 4th.
I think it's equally beneficial for him to be around the facility and the team, and again, for the team to be around him during this.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Jimmy is definitely one of our leaders, and you know, I know if he was out there, you know, he would have been voted one of the captains. You know, if he was still healthy. But you know, Jimmy has to go through this process of getting his surgery. He's got to recover enough, which he's been doing. It's going to take him a few more weeks to get off the crutches, but you know. Yeah, obviously he can't go through this season and get that experience, but there's still a lot of experience he can get. He needs to go through the game plan each week, prepare like he is playing, at least mentally, get something out of the games, know what you're expecting to go into the game, see what happens differently in the game, see what he can learn at that time. When he comes into a Monday meeting and we talk about what went different than we were expecting, how you can adjust to those things, those are things he has to go through fully mentally. He would love him to do it both physically and mentally. One was taken away from him. So he's still got to get something out of this, and you can get a lot on the other half of it.
You mentioned last year you wanted to see Jimmy go through adversity. Obviously, this isn't the type of adversity you envision, but how do you think he's handling the situation given all that?
I think he's handling it as good as you can. You know, Jimmy was extremely down like anybody would be. Jimmy was very excited about this season. He was very excited to play. He was very excited to go through his first year, really having his team. And you know, we got out to a 1 and 2 start with them, and he was, you know, we went through some ups and downs in that game, those 3 games, and that was some of the stuff that he hadn't had to go through yet, and so he was starting to go through that stuff, and I liked how he would respond. There was more pressure on him because he lost his first game. He hadn't done that before, and he did that after week 1, so that was something new for him. Week 2, we beat Detroit. Week 3, we beat Detroit, but we almost lost it at the end. So there was some stuff that we weren't happy about, and I mean, that was, I think, his first time having to go through that stuff, so that was good. Would love to have seen him go through it the rest of the year and watch the ups and downs, and because you get better from those in every aspect. But I think he did learn a lot in his 3 games. I think that helps him going into this offseason, how to prepare, what to expect. You know, last year, you know, Jimmy is a humble guy, and he does work very hard, but he hadn't faced much adversity, and he had never lost a game, and he had played very well, and he's lost some games now. He's had some big adversity with this injury, and I know he'll be excited to overcome it, and I know he's already trying to get started.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks.